Hey guys, we were going through our female tubs today, seeing if any laid some eggs, and it looks like our Max Snow radar could have laid some signs of laying. As you can see, they've thrown the dirt out pretty much everywhere, and usually they won't be in there after they lay them, but they kind of push the dirt up against the edges of the tubs. So I'm sure that there's some eggs in here, so let's get these set up. A good way to tell if you've had eggs, you can just lift the tub up, and a lot of times they lay them in the corners or along the edges. That looks like an egg right there. We use Eco-Earth cocoa fiber. So just be careful not to rotate the eggs. You can for the first 2 weeks after they're laid, but I don't like to rotate them just in case. So just very gently dig them up. This female is getting to the end of her season, so it actually looks like she only laid one egg. Alright, incubation medium, you can use vermiculite, which is right here. You can use vermiculite, perlite, or hatchite. Hatchite is a perlite with a water isomer in it. You don't have to add water to it. If you're using vermiculite or perlite, you want to mix it with some water. Not enough to where it, like when you squeeze it, not enough to where water drips out, but where it clumps up nicely. So I've already got this pre-moistened. So you just want to make a thumbprint. Grab your egg. Some people mark the top of the egg with a Sharpie so they know exactly which side is up and it hasn't been rotated. I typically don't do that, and I haven't had any problems. So you want to just bury that about halfway into the vermiculite. And then in the lid of this, I've punched an 1/8 inch hole for airflow, and that'll allow a little bit of fresh air to get in and not too much humidity to escape once it's in the incubator. And then labeling is pretty important if you're having a lot of eggs being laid. So the mother to this was a Max Snow radar. We only have one Max Snow radar here, so I can just write the name of the mother, Mac radar. I'll write the date of today, which it is the 8th, I believe. So 1/8/16. And then I'm going to write TSF. That stands for temperature sexed female. And then I'll put a little degree symbol. That just lets me know that it was incubated for female, in case I switch it over to the male incubator. So I'll show you what we do after we put in the incubator. I also forgot to mention how you can tell a good egg. A good egg will be nice and plump and solid. It'll have kind of like a leathery texture unless it was just laid. Then it'll be kind of soft and squishy and warm. But usually after a couple hours after they're laid, they'll harden up. They'll kind of feel like a stale marshmallow almost. But they won't have any discoloration or yellowness like a bad egg. So that's pretty much how you can tell a good egg. Now if you want to incubate for female, you want to do 79 to 82 degrees. If you want a mixture of both males and females, you want to do about 85 degrees. And 88 to 90 for all males. If you go a little bit above 90, like 91 or 92, that's kind of risking it being too hot, but that'll actually give you all females, something people call hot females. But we're going to stick this in our female incubator, which is set at 81 degrees. Alright, and being in this incubator right here, it'll take about 2 to 3 weeks to lock in the sex of that gecko. So in about 2.5, 3 weeks, that'll be a female. It'll be locked in. Then what we like to do is move it to this incubator right here, which is set at about 87, 88 degrees. I actually just moved some this morning from the same female. These are about 2.5 weeks old. Slowly moving them over to this incubator and raising the temperature, it'll increase their color, we found, really nicely. That's pretty much how we incubate our eggs here. You don't have to transition the eggs over if you don't want to after the 2 to 3 weeks. You can incubate in the female incubator for the whole time. I just like to do that because it increases the colors. But if you want to incubate it the whole time in a female incubator, it'll take approximately 45 to 60 days. Switching it over like this, it increases the colors, and it also helps them hatch faster too. It makes them grow because it's a little bit warmer. So this way it'll be about 35 to 45 days. Once they hatch out, you're going to want to put them away in an individual tub. If you'd like to see a video on how we raise our hatchlings, just check out our hatchling care video. Feeding your females is really important in the breeding season because it can have a lot of strain on them, and their tails can kind of thin out from using all their energy for their eggs and their nutrition. So feeding them is really important. So this female is actually out of mealworms. So vitamins and calcium are also very, very important. They use the calcium for their eggshells to develop. So just sprinkle some vitamins and calcium in there. Then you're going to want to give them some mealworms. Not the carrots though. Alright, nice amount of mealworms. Usually after they lay, they'll be hungry right away and they'll start eating. You can also give them dubia roaches. Those are really high in protein. Or you can give them once or twice throughout the month. You can give them a day-old pinky mouse. That'll help them. I don't really do the mice just because I don't breed them, but it really does fatten them up. You can also give them waxworms, but just occasionally because those are very high in fat. They should only be given as treats or to fatten really thin females up.